Monday morning. It's McCollum on Business. I'm Stephen McCollum. For the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to get you updated on what's happening around the business world, what happened over the weekend in terms of national stuff out there. Of course, when we left you on Friday, everything was hunky-dory. And then the conversation of the ceasefire, well, that was called off on later Friday as well. So let's get you updated here. Market Watch, stocks we're paying attention to, local and national stories that you need to know as well. So let's get it started with that Market Watch. Iran peace talks stall, as I told you. Oil has risen today, even though the Strait of Hormuz is reportedly open. Well, we have a nominal trading day so far here early in the morning, meaning not a ton up, not a ton down. Little changes here today. Dow Jones right now down 33 points, 49,221. S&P 500 down 2 points to 7161. The Nasdaq's down 54 points to 24,782. While the Russell 2K up 13 points here this morning to 2790 as of right now. And then we got Bitcoin staying up in that 78,000 range right now, 77,827 for Bitcoin, as that looks like it's settling in pretty nice here at that 78,000 range here over the last week as well. Stocks we're paying attention to right now. First stock we're going to look at is Qualcomm. They're up big today, or at least in pre-market. They're up still today. They have come down since the market's opened. 2.62% here over the last 30 minutes since the market opened. What's happening with them? Well, TF International Securities, an analyst for them, came out and said, he posted this on X, according to CNBC. He said OpenAI is working with Qualcomm to develop smartphone processors. Well, that's big news here for Qualcomm, of course, as OpenAI, as you know, big artificial intelligence company. But also, so that's improving Qualcomm here today. And then there's Apple on the other side of this news. Apple's the stock we're looking at now, 1.18% down here today. Well, that just means that Qualcomm now becomes a new competitor here with Apple. And so a potential new competitor taking Apple stock down today. And obviously, that new competitor, Qualcomm, up here early this morning on a Monday. Let's stick with some software companies here and look at Adobe as well. Well, they've been downgraded here. They're 0.75% down right now here today. They've been downgraded to neutral from Mizuho, that investment company. It wasn't outperformed before, Adobe was. Analysts wrote that increasing alternatives to the company's products and potential strategic acquisitions or their investments could hit Adobe's margins coming up in the future. So downgraded by Mizuho to neutral. Well, that's taking Adobe stock down here, 0.97% down here today on this Monday. Later on when we come back, we're going to look at the fast food, or at least delivery pizza giant that's had a lot of success over the last couple of years while their competitors have not. We'll look at Domino's Pizza, or I can never say this company name, Organon. We'll look at them as well. They're a healthcare company. And then Intel, right? Big Friday for Intel. If you remember back to McCollum on Business on Friday, big day for them. Well, let's look at the follow-up here today on this Monday as well for Intel coming up. But first, we told you ceasefire talks stall for the Middle East. Oil prices have risen a little bit here today as well. So that's what the market's waiting on. This is a Fed week as well for meeting. Policymakers are getting together, and the market is not expecting any changes, especially with the current Fed chairman, Jerome Powell. We're getting closer to his tenure ending, and a new Fed chairman, if he's appointed here, will be moving into that role. So nobody's expecting any changes this week on the Fed side, but that's kind of what the market is dealing with here as we go into this Monday morning. And so let's look at some other stories besides the typical ones that we talk about. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Well, they're making a major change to how Americans may qualify for their mortgages. So as you know, Freddie and Fannie Mae are both government-backed mortgage companies. They said last week that they're going to begin allowing loans evaluated using that new Vantage Score 4.0. That's that new model, not FICO, the new one that can incorporate data. Things like rent, utility payment history can go into these numbers as well, right? The theory behind it is you pay $2,000 in rent every month. Why can't you pay 1,800, 1,600, dollar mortgage every month at the same time, right? This change will initially roll out on a limited basis. It's going to begin with a group of approved lenders to try it out. But as part of that broader credit score modernization effort that is happening right now from the Federal Housing Finance Agency, Freddie Mac, they've already begun testing the model, taking delivery of about $10 million in loans evaluated using that Vantage score. And those mortgages and those loans are going to be highly scrutinized as well. So, as they go on, who's paying, who's not, are they credit worthy, are they paying on time, etc. So it's going to be highly scrutinized. During the limited rollout, approved lenders, well, they can choose between Vantage Score 4.0 and your traditional FICO scores. A second updated model is going to come out as well, FICO Score 10T. Well, it's expected to be introduced as part of the modernization initiative as well for FICO. FICO 10T also factors in both positive and negative rental payment history when reported to the credit bureaus. And don't forget, remember when FICO's stock went way down when they announced this? So FICO's having to, move towards that side as well as another option to try to obviously keep them as the core in the future and the focus of this type of business out there. Let's go to some airline stuff is here as well. There's been a lot of question marks around this United Airlines, American Airlines rumored merger. We gave you the updates last week, and now this morning, United Airlines said that it had ended its pursuit of a merger with American Airlines after American declined to engage after that initial approach. This is a fascinating story because the United CEO last week, kind of was like, yeah, we're not pursuing this at all. And they have to come out today and officially end it. If you remember, the CEO of United, he raised the idea of combination with American during a meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump. That was back in, I want to say, late February, early March as well. Reuters came out and talked about this a few weeks ago. The meeting had been scheduled to discuss the future, specifically of Dulles Airport there in Washington. So then Kirby this morning said Americans, meaning the airline, public comments make it clear that a merger like this, well, it's off the table for the foreseeable future. If you remember last week on announcement time, American flat out said it's bad for everybody if this merger was to continue, and they weren't interested. American did decline comment this morning to Kirby's statement here this morning, but they did point to the remarks made last week by its CEO. As I told you, he said the whole thing would be bad, rejected the merger. He said it would be uncompetitive, bad for customers, bad for the airlines, bad for everybody, employees. So it's officially done now with a lot of rumors and covering your butt if you're a United CEO there. And even President Trump last week, we told you on Friday, said, yeah, I don't think they should merge. So it's done. It's finally done. Apparently, it's done. We'll see here. Another airline story, I found this interesting. Will this be more of a trend coming up, right? We know airlines are moving towards premium tickets. People want to pay more, at least the airlines think so, for travel. So Emirates Airlines over in Dubai, well, they're exploring a major upgrade to its first class experience. Private bathrooms directly inside individual suites. Yeah, the National, which is an Abu Dhabi outlet over there, came out with this news. Emirates, well, they currently offer first-class cabins on its Airbus A380 and Boeing 777 aircraft. So aboard if you want to talk about the Airbus 380, I should say, first-class passengers have private suites, sliding doors, along with access to shared showers, spas, and an onboard lounge and bar. We're talking premium here. You see that picture? That is from an airplane, folks, on your screen. The airline first introduced its signature shower spas back in 2008. But the Boeing 777, well, it features fully enclosed floor-to-ceiling suites, advanced entertainment and technology. It does not include shower spas and the Boeing model at this time. The reported move of adding these private bathrooms, it comes as airlines across the whole airline industry. They're looking to add to the investment in high-end travel, rolling out upgraded onboard experiences to attract premium customers who want to pay that extra money for those. I just found that interesting because now those are longboard flights that they obviously have. It's not like you're flying an hour and you have that option. But is that something that goes to American Airlines traveling abroad as well to compete with these foreign carriers, if we could say that here in America as well? Let's move to the entertainment side of things, and no strikes coming up. Our shows, our movies are going to keep continuing. Well, at least for right now, because members of the Screenwriters Union overwhelmingly ratified a 4-year agreement with those Hollywood studios and the streaming companies. They did all this on Friday, bringing an end to the what a lot of people are shocked by. Really quick, really smooth, no hiccups, no fighting, no arguing. Because last time these guys were talking about this, it added a prolonged strike last time, and this was quick and easy. Union leaders said 90% voted to approve the deal struck between the Writers Guild of America West, of course, Writers Guild of America East, and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. Studios will now shift to negotiations specifically with actors and directors now moving forward. So leaders of the unions emphasized gains in health coverage is what their main coverage was. But the union leaders did say the deal also includes minimum pay hikes, especially for comedy and variety writers, more money in residuals for the re-airing of their work and their jokes as well, of course, out there. So there we go. That is settled. Now actors and directors, which also had a big strike last time. So it'll be interesting to see if that's going to be as smooth as what this process was as well. And this is an interesting story to me here as well, because you see it a lot, right? Especially us Gen Xers. We're just like, we'll just live life. Yay. Well, new studies are out there saying most Americans, they have no clue. Head in the sand, specifically when it comes to a core retirement planning statistic. How long you're going to live after you retire. Only 1 in 3 Americans can correctly identify how long a 65-year-old will typically live. Big deal, because workers who underestimate longevity of life, they tend to save less, plan less, even risk running out of money in what could be a 30-plus year retirement time frame. Only half of workers who expect to live less than a decade in retirement save regularly. 26% of these save 5% or less of their annual salary. This is all according to a new reporting out there. So the recommendation is you should be saving at least 15%, including any employer contribution, of course, if you can afford to. But 5% seems to be the level according to this study. More than 7 in 10 of those expected to live 30 or more years in retirement save regularly. And 4 in 10, well, they save more than 10% of their income each year. Well, so here's the numbers that you'll be educated on here watching McCollum on Business. On average, a 65-year-old man in the United States, they will live about 19 more years. They're going to live to about 84. A 65-year-old woman, well, they're going to live about 22 more years. They're going to live to about age 87. So what about reaching the non-Agerian status? Well, that's a 65-year-old man has about a 30% chance of living to at least age 90, compared to 40% for a 65-year-old woman. So you hit 65, you have a pretty good chance to live to 90 or older as well on top of that, which gets you that 30-year window in retirement for money, etc. So most people underestimate that time frame. So they, of course, are saving less and things to that effect and everything. So I figure start this Monday with, if you can afford it in this market, start saving a little bit more. You're going to live longer than you think if you just remain healthy and keep going through that. And folks, well, we're here on this Monday, waiting on the ceasefire talk, waiting on the Fed announcements this week and meetings. Don't expect a lot of movement on those two things this week, but we'll keep our eyes on that as the week goes on. And when we come back, let's get into some local stories here coming up as well. If you're a White Castle fan, I've got some news for you. Might be easier to get more White Castle. We'll talk about that coming up as well. Come on back. It's McCollum on Business, Monday edition. Back here, McCollum on Business Monday edition. I appreciate you joining us here, of course, live on Robat TV. As soon as we're done here, we get this put up on demand on Robat TV, our YouTube page as well for our production company, TME Media AZ. And of course, on Rumble as well, rumble.com/user/TME Media is where you can find us on Rumble, TME Media AZ. On YouTube, and of course, follow us on X as well for the parent company of our production company, TME Media AZ. Give you the show updates, what's happening in terms of programming, what we do around here with all of the entities that we work with on our production side, folks. Give them a follow there as well. As soon as we get done here, well, we move into the main event. Dale Hillestray's off Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week, so today I'll get you going, caught up over the weekend. So come and join me here from 8 to 10 live at Robat TV, of course, right afterwards on demand, YouTube. The podcast systems, just search the main event with Steven, the main event with Dale. It pops right up for you. And then, of course, on Rumble as well. Then we got the pit stop coming up later on this week. We talk about racing, big races in Talladega over the weekend. Fun racing there on Saturday and Sunday. Some big wrecks happened and got some chaos out there. And somebody got their first win, which was always fun to see. Pit stop coming up later in the week as well, of course. We'll have that out for you on the Robat YouTube page and on Rumble as well. And then don't forget, the reason we're on Rumble, The Real Matrix. We love producing that show with the Angry Patriot. That'll be out on Fridays, 10 a.m. here at Robat TV, noon on the YouTube, on the Rumble page there, rumble.com/user/TME Media. Last week's episode was on the moon landing. And we appreciate it. Big numbers on that show coming out on Friday as well. So we appreciate you joining us. The real Angry Patriot loves the fact and appreciates you guys coming on and going on this journey of exploration and opening your mind, as they say there on that program. So it'll be fun to see you guys here. And John Holmberg joined that show, actually, from KUPD Morning Sickness. He joined that show in the second half as well for the moon landing episodes. Check that out on Rumble and, of course, here, Robat TV, or the free podcast systems as well. With all that being said, let's get back into the Monday Market Watch. Everything is just kind of there today, right? Oil is rising a little bit, not huge numbers. Iran peace talk stalls. Strait of Hormuz is open reportedly. Over the weekend, I saw a lot of conversation about the tankers that are moving around that strait right now, in and out. And kind of bypassing it as well, going through down south, the channels across South America, things to that effect. Well, the market's just there, and the Fed meets this week as well. Nothing expected to happen with the change with the Fed chairman change coming up. Dow Jones right now is down the 44 points. The S&P 500 is down 2 points here as well. Little change throughout the whole market. Nasdaq's down 65 points right now. The Russell 2K, the only one positive, 13 points up for that small cap index. And then Bitcoin, it's kind of found its little home here this last week. 77,894 for Bitcoin here today. So Domino's Pizza. Let's talk some food here as we look at our stocks coming up here. This has been a very successful pizza chain over the last year or two, whereas their competitors have struggled. Domino's has done really well with same store sales and their growth model. Well, now they're down 10.42% right now as well. The U.S. sales outlook did come short of expectations. Domino's said it expects U.S. same-store sales to expand by 0.9%. Still an expansion. A lot of their competitors are struggling with that. But analysts had basically expected around a 2 to 2.5 percentage point growth for same-store sales. Big number difference. But in the eyes of investors, that's a disappointment. Domino's 10.44% down right now. And then the company Organon is what we're calling them. I have a hard time saying this company name, but it is up 17.23%. Got my attention today. And again, it always makes me laugh when it's up almost 20%. It's $13 is what it's moved up to, right? In terms of that number. They're a healthcare company, if you don't know what they do. Well, they are going away, I guess we can say, because they're being acquired. Indian drug maker Sun Pharmaceutical Industries, well, they are purchasing Organon moving forward. Organon is in 2021, was spun off from the drug maker Merck at that time and now being purchased by this Indian drug maker. Well, they said Organon said that the transaction provides immediate and compelling value to shareholders, is what they are saying for that move. And then we're going to do our Monday morning follow-up on Intel. Friday, 23% up on Friday for Intel. Now, this was because of their earnings report, and it kind of dragged the whole market up. Everything in that Intel sector was up on Friday based off of their numbers and their prediction of their chips moving forward. Well, today they're up about 4.45% here this morning as well. So that wave of that earnings report still up here for Intel here on this Monday morning. How long does it continue going up before it starts to go backwards a little bit or some profits sold? We'll have to keep our eyes on Intel here throughout this week as well. And now let's talk some local stories here. An interesting happened. I saw this story in multiple places this weekend. I saw it on some local stuff. The story we're going to get you here, a lot of it was taken. K-Jazz gives us this information here locally. But I saw this on some national news stories. I saw some national reporting on this. And it's fascinating to me on what gyms are doing and the decisions they're making moving forward. So if you don't know what's kind of happening out there in the gym world, if you're like me and despise walking in gyms, I'm not a big EOS fitness fan, just too busy. They don't have big selections for their size. But anyway, I digress. Over the past couple years, commercial gyms are doing something interesting here. They're kind of asking our full court basketball facilities worth the expense and what it takes to keep it up. What happens is new courts here, new basketball courts across the country, not just here locally, they bring in new members, and those members stay loyal and keep going back. A lot of them will go in there just to play basketball. Some of them will go in, play basketball just to change up their routine and then go lift weights or whatever. You work on their cardio doing that. But a lot of gyms are shifting to more lucrative business models. So some are adding pickleball courts. Some are adding more workout spaces as well because these gyms get pretty crowded. So there's little national data out there. You try to find it. Well, you don't know what this trend actually is, but we do have some updates here locally here, thanks to K Jazz as well. But people are posting all over social medias that gyms, big ones, LA Fitness, EOS Fitness, they're closing their courts. So then that leaves, players without a place to play. We're here in Arizona. Go play in the middle of July outside. So you want to go inside of a trend as well. So the trend of closing these basketball gyms, well, they're arriving in Arizona. The EOS Fitness out by my place, the big one, has a half court gym in it as well. That's always packed. Yeah, if you don't know, EOS Fitness is one of the largest commercial gyms here in Arizona. More than 40 locations here in just the Phoenix area alone. They have cheap membership prices. They're open 24/7. Basketball courts, as I said, are full court or half court in these locations. And a lot of people go there because of their pricing and the loyal to it because of the basketball courts. Well, EOS has announced that its courts will be closing in early April across multiple locations here in the valley. They're going to be replaced with another section of weights. Well, that's to lure more customers, they say. EOS Fitness memberships, if you don't know, start as low as $9.99 per month at that point. But they said the gym plans to transform its courts into rooms with different lighting. This is what annoys me the most. Equipment to bring in influencers and encourage people to record their workouts. There's a couple of EOSs out by me, and one of them, they have a influencer room. They encourage influencers to go to that gym so they can record and work out in there as well. Yeah. EOS is saying they believe they can stand out on the influencer side and get people that way. I wish them luck. One reason gyms, they might not want the basketball courts, well, the maintenance costs. Interesting enough, according to KJazz, a spokesperson from EOS told them that the cost of keeping the court up to date, that means fixing backboards, rims, redoing the floors, etc. They say that's a big reason to abandon basketball courts. Then, of course, you've got the squabbles, we'll call them, right? The disagreements that sometimes occur. As you know, basketball is competitive, can be physical at times, and arguments can occur after that as well. So, interesting enough. So, EOS Fitness converting some of their basketball courts across town into other things. There's other gyms out there, Vaza's Fitness, which I thought was part of LA Fitness, if I as shoot off of them. But I know them in LA Fitness, they said they have no plans to shut down their courts at all moving forward. So could make them, where you would transfer to. KJ's story has multiple people canceling their memberships with the EOS and going to other gyms just because of the basketball side of things. And it's interesting. The bigger the gym, the more inclined they want to get rid of their basketball side. This story blew up over the weekend. Get the local flavor here with the KJazz reporting of it as well. But fascinating. Gyms making these decisions. Basketball fans are loyal. They will be loyal to a gym if they can go in and play basketball. They're just like, get out of here. I have my own problems with EOS Fitness and everything. Just don't like them. Their gyms are, quite frankly, just garbage. Moving forward, their weights aren't very good. Everything else is just busy. You can't get anything at any time. You go in the middle of the night, and it's like nothing works. It's hard to get in on it. It's just whatever. So anyway, that's my choice on that matter. But interesting battle going on there as well. Hey, City of Phoenix. We already know data centers are big here in Arizona. Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallardo, she announced last week that the city is going to launch a Phoenix quantum strategy, quantum computing. She wants to position the valley as a national hub for quantum computing moving forward. The strategy that she wants to do is going to unite universities, industry partners to accelerate breakthroughs in the quantum field, which is still an emerging field out there. Quantum computers are seen as tools that may eventually solve certain problems that could make modern day computers years to solve. How fast they're going to be when they, in theory, get it figured out. They operate using the laws of quantum physics, which is way out of my league, folks. It's very difficult to explain. You confuse the heck out of me when you talk about it. But according to ASU News, the global effort to advance quantum technology has been likened to the 1960s space race, all because of the scale of investments into it and obviously competition. The country that solves quantum computing first, just like AI, will have a big advantage. So now, Phoenix Mayor, she made this decision to build research partnerships, attract quantum related companies into the valley, and then even develop the talent here as well that could make Phoenix a hub, not just for data centers, but quantum computing moving forward. So, always trying to get that technology business in here as well for them. And hey, are you a Bed Bath and Beyond fan? Were you a Bed Bath and Beyond fan, I should say? Well, you're getting some of their products back into the valley here as well. Coming up pretty quickly for you as well. And I apologize here while I get my computer up and running. So don't forget, Bed Bath & Beyond. Well, most of you know if you're a fan of them. They closed their stores, 3, 4 years ago in that time frame. Utah-based Bed Bath & Beyond is returning to Phoenix. Well, they're doing it in conjunction with another retailer out there, storage solution retailer, The Container Store. They announced they would be introducing the Bed Bath & Beyond concept and its products into existing Container Store locations. We've seen this kind of merger happen a little bit, right? The Party City Staples. I saw several commercials for their entertainment here, which we told you about on Friday. Now, Container Store and Bed Bath & Beyond mixing it up as well. So the Bed Bath & Beyond announced plans to acquire the Container Store out of bankruptcy back in, I want to say it was back March, maybe beginning of April timeframe as when it was happening. So the Container Store, well, what they say is the goal is to deliver a more complete home experience for its customers. 100 stores were identified as locations for the Container Store and Bed Bath & Beyond, including 4 here in Arizona. So there'll be one in Phoenix, Glendale, North Scottsdale, and yes, Tucson. You're not being forgotten about. You'll get one down there as well. They'll all have the Bed Bath & Beyond products in them as well moving forward. So starting in May, the transition will begin for a Container Store plus Bed Bath & Beyond format. Future stores will obviously that they open will have that format as well coming up. So Bed Bath & Beyond fans, you're getting your dream. It's coming back here as well for you here in the next month, actually. It looks like it's going to be happening in those Container Stores. All right, let's get into my favorite subject, the food topics out there. A precursor to this story, I feel like I have to be honest with you. I do not like White Castle. Cannot stand it. Do not like anything about it. Yeah. But if you, and I understand your love for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not judging you on that. I'm just a little bit off on this. But White Castle is now taking its sliders beyond restaurants. You know, you can get them in grocery store freezers also. Well, they're announcing plans to roll out automated hot food kiosks, all to serve those sliders out there. You're going to be able to get them even easier coming up here. They announced last week that they have formed an exclusive alliance with a company called Automated Retail Technologies. They're launching White Castle Crave and Go kiosks across the country. It's going to begin with 1,000 locations is just what it's going to begin with. The kiosks are designed to give customers access to White Castle sliders and also hot, you don't have to cook them, in places where a traditional restaurant may not be nearby. So basically, instead of building a White Castle, let's say at ASU, or inside of ASU, like for instance, the MU or something, well, now they can put these kiosks inside of places like college campuses, hospitals, workplaces, transportation hubs as well. Imagine the bus stop there in Tempe or a light rail site. You can get yourself some hot White Castle. Yes. White Castle said orders from the kiosks are prepared on demand, so they'll give busy customers a quick and convenient way to grab food without waiting in line. How do you cook them so fast? My question. Automated Retail Technologies that White Castle is banded with, they operate the Just Baked platform. They already have kiosks in high traffic areas and healthcare systems and colleges, for instance. So they already exist and they're already being utilized, these automated retail technology kiosks. White Castle said the existing network made the automated retail technologies a natural partner for this White Castle expansion as well. So, when do they launch? Crave and Go installations have already launched. They've generated some positive feedback throughout the country as well. They expect expansion to accelerate through 2026 as well. So they offer, they have 340 restaurants. As I said, you can get their hamburgers, their sliders, and frozen food as well. I did look, none in Arizona that I saw as of yet, but could be coming our way. Or if you're traveling, keep your eyes open, White Castle fans, for Crave and Go, I should say. White Castle out there as well. And good luck with you on that as well. Hey, folks, this is a wrap up here of McCollum on Business. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. But we'll keep rolling forward here on the business week, waiting for the Fed announcement here coming up this week. Then, of course, right, what's happening with the Iran war? All the business that you need to know. And come and join us, 7 a.m. live on demand after that. YouTube, Rumble, of course, here at Robat TV as well. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Main event coming up next at 8 to 10 a.m. live here on Robat TV. Come and join us.